Mics are on.
Okay, they're on?
They're
okay,
on.
yeah, they're on. I'm a bit sunburnt today. Just a little bit burnt.
You look fine, Alex. You look like a doll.
Oh, thank you, bitch.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Anytime.
So tonight, episode what? 93?
93. Close to the big 100.
Yeah, we're getting closer. All right, tonight we have White Pepper, Bailey Chalmers on.
Correct. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Cheers. Yeah, to the birthday wine that was from
Yes.
like last year. This is a delicious stuff.
It is too.
This is a really good stuff.
What have you got there? Let's give some free sponsorship.
Cool. So Jacob's Creek Double Barrel Shiraz.
West Australian?
Whoa. Not sure.
Jacob's Creek, is that West
Aged
Australian?
in a
I don't
whiskey
know.
barrel, apparently.
I think it is because it looks really expensive, but it's probably about $7 a bottle.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good. I want to get some of that.
Yeah, get some of that,
That's it.
literally.
Like expensive wine. No, go the good stuff, the cheap stuff.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Fun little fact as well. Did you know that Australia does not tax their wine? That's why it's so cheap.
Interesting.
And that's why it's like, you know, when it comes to like Smirnoff and all the other beer brands and everything else, it's all taxed the living shithouse. But wine in Australia is such a precious not resource, but you know, importing wine that they don't tax it.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, enough of that. So, who are you? Who are you and what do you do? You run a few events around Perth. You're a DJ, you produce, like you do everything by the sounds of it. Like,
not everything.
From what you showed me, almost everything.
Yeah, so run a DJ agency called Perth DJ Hire.
Yep.
Which was kind of began when I was younger, throughout high school, kind of like year 10. So that's kind of what kickstarted this whole thing. And then from that...
Did you just say 2010 as well? Sorry.
When I was in year 10.
Oh, in year 10.
Yeah,
okay.
a child. And then kind of developed a passion for music, which then kind of got me into the DJ scene, which led on to my producing, and then which has kind of now led on to me promoting events.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all in one, but it's 3 separate things.
And so what are some of the events you run? It's like Moves and like there's a few others, right?
Yeah, so niche events is the Father branding.
Yep.
And then under that, our first event's called Moves.
Yep.
So basically just like a boutique event in Perth, party and house music. We've only ever booked local DJs.
Yep. It's kind of the way to do it, right?
Kind of the way to do it, man, especially with COVID.
That's it. Trying to get international in or over east, like good luck.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, well, I mean, we kind of started, I reckon, a year ago, just over. So kind of once we started, it was COVID pretty much straight away. So we'll kind of hit with that from the start. Which I know it sounds like it was a negative, but for us it was almost a positive in terms of that we didn't have anyone to compete with. Like there was no festivals on. Kind of the bigger promoters in Perth weren't running shows and running events.
Everyone took a step back.
Then kind of the smaller dogs kind of started to come through. Now everyone with a computer wants to run an event and be a DJ. But
that's it.
I think it's a
what
great
a time
thing
to be alive.
Yeah, literally.
The best will rise to the top eventually.
Yeah.
But I feel that too because I often thought of COVID as like a reset almost on the scene in Perth. I think we needed that a little bit.
Well, that's it. We're such a small population that it's like when something like that actually hit us, it's like it gave the people the youngins an opportunity to try and actually reinvent the scene almost. Because I know heaps of people that were just like, okay, I'm not a DJ anymore. Let's just this has happened. Let's just go work in the mines kind of thing, right?
No.
Like it was quite a few mates that were just like, no. Who knows? Because it was so uncertain. Hospitality industry in general was suffering.
Yeah, big time.
That's it. Lockdown after lockdown. We're okay now, but back then it was just like uncertain. No one knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, so, I mean, I say there's a lot of positives, but obviously we've been hit with a lot of negatives, like trying to book artists. Because we were obviously in two minds in terms of whether we go the artist track or we're trying to stick local. I mean, it's proven it works. People just want to go where everyone else is, but I still think that kind of give it that push the brand needs. Having an artist on the show, having an artist on the event or a lineup definitely helps push it.
That's it, yeah.
But I mean, like literally trying to book. While Melbourne were in lockdown, whereas then you're like looking at Gold Coast, like okay, when you're messaging the booking agent, who do you have that's available? And then no one's available because they're doing other shows, and now we've already put them the next moves on that we're running. And then we're getting all these emails from the booking agent saying, "Oh, he's available now." It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, well, you should have told us earlier.
You should have told us earlier. But no, I'm pretty happy with where it's at in terms of locals only. We have like a good core bunch around it, like our promoters.
Well, it's good because it's cheaper anyway. So fly someone over, paying for their flights, their hotel, the whole lot. And instead it's like, okay, you live in Rockingham, here's a bit of fuel money.
Here's a beer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Come hang out.
Yeah, literally.
So with Perth DJ Hire, so you started that in year 10. What made you want to because year 10, like when I was in year 10, I was in Bustleton. I was in a country town kind of thing, like,
Interesting, yeah. Well, when I was in high school, I didn't start drinking until like end of year 11. It was a bit boring. And then in year 10, like I started going to a few parties, and there's literally every party I went to, there was like a UE boom, and there was like 150 people.
Yeah.
It was like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, surely this like isn't a thing. Yeah. And then I was talking about it one night, just with one of my mates at the party, going like, dude, like let's just hire a speaker for like the party because it will be like so much better.
That's it, yeah.
And then messaged this dude off Gumtree, and then he I actually ended up becoming good friends with him, and he hired out like two 15-inch powered speakers out with stands for like $80 or something. It was like originally it was a bit more, but I kept hiring them from him, so he kind of dimmed it. And then I was hiring. I actually brought him to a mate's birthday. Just gave it to him for whatever the price was, and then someone at that party went, "Oh, like who was the dude who got these speakers?" And they came to me, and I didn't know the person. So then, for some reason, I was just like, "Yeah, they were $150." Then I started hiring out these speakers to all these different parties for like double what I was charging, but it wasn't like a heap of money, right? So it's like $150 to have like massive ass speakers, right?
Yeah.
So then that kind of is how it started. I was just like hiring these speakers out to different events, basically just like 17-year-old birthdays. And then from there decided to kind of dabble in DJing because I was like, I didn't even really have a passion for music. I just wanted to do it because I thought, okay, I could charge more money now. And then instead of charging $150, I can go and DJ my laptop.
You had a little business hat on at high school,
man,
eh?
Yeah, big time. I was one of those dudes. Yeah. And then I literally did a gig, had no idea how to DJ, used virtual DJ.
Oh,
Hell
nice.
yeah. Everyone starts with virtual
That's
DJ.
it. They do, yeah.
And then I was playing like dubstep and just using the crossfader on my mouse on my laptop to transition between tracks.
Yeah.
And it was just terrible, but everyone loved it. Like it was just basically because there was a DJ figure there with
Well, there you go.
a reasonable sound system.
That's it, yeah.
People
Virtual
like,
DJ, the number 1 most popular DJ software.
in the world, I reckon too. Because
Probably
I
is.
probably typed in DJ, and that would have been the first thing that
That's
popped up.
it.
That's what you
Yeah,
get with
that's it.
free software, I suppose.
You do, yeah. I think it was probably the only one that was free. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly it.
reckon.
Well,
Yeah.
Record Box is free, right?
Rekordbox is free for just like the
Basics, yeah.
like you can use it as a music player, but you can't DJ with it. You
Okay.
need to buy the pro version.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, so then with that, so it's just like, yeah, you did that, and then what happened after that?
Yeah, so, and then obviously it kind of just went from there in terms of actually got a deck, was playing gigs, I reckon, for a year in Perth. Just like small birthday, small things.
Mm.
Thought I knew how to DJ. Looking back now, like had absolutely no idea. And it was just, it's actually funny how it worked because it shows that literally a dude with a deck playing music with speakers is like all some things need, even though I had absolutely no talent in even knowing anything to do with music, didn't even know how to DJ, didn't even know how to basically mix. It was literally just like transitioning tracks between like a crossfader. And
But
then,
that's the thing, is like, it's the entertainment though. It's like,
correct, yeah. It's just the fact that there's a DJ there.
That's
the
it.
person's party it is goes, this is so cool, my party's sick. And then the person goes, I want to be like that person having the party. I want to DJ at my birthday. And this is the only dude that's doing it. So that was kind of where that started from. And then the name came from me going, okay, we're in Perth, DJ hire. And then I was just like, it's going to be the easiest way to find us.
That's it. It's just like what we said before. It's just keywords, basically. Like, you Google SEO, it'll be through the roof, right?
Literally, yeah, literally. And we did try to do SEO with one of the. We literally, I always get calls because people obviously go to your website from like China, India, wherever.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
go, hello, is this Bali from Perth DJ Hire? And I go, hello, yes it is. And I knew, no, it's already going to be like, we've been to your website and we can see ways that it can get higher up on like results. And then one time I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna give this guy a time of the day. And I was like, I'm actually interested to see if it works. And like I looked in their website, it was obviously legit and stuff like that. And then when he was doing, we did it for a few months, like maybe 3 or 4 months. I did it for. It wasn't actually overly expensive. I mean, it was like, I would say like,
This is like a web SEO service,
yeah,
right?
web SEO service.
Yeah.
Like,
Do they just call you like that, unsolicited?
I always still get them.
Damn.
Really?
They're the
I had
most
no
calls I
idea.
get. I think it's a gig, and they call me, and it's just SEO service. Sick.
Nice.
Yeah, and then nice, yeah, literally, man. And then, yeah, we did that for about 3 or 4 months, and then the account manager was like, "Dude, like your account's actually doing really good, like organically, just from the names." So I mean, I need to start thinking of other names or other words that people type in that are common but don't relate to your name. So like other words in Perth, DJ and higher. And then he was kind of an idiot because then I was just like, okay, I don't need you. And then ended up just doing it organically. And I obviously always type in on my computer like Perth DJ higher to see how it's tracking. And it seems to be fine. But most of our stuff's on Facebook anyway, so I'm not really too fussed about
But
it.
that's the thing though, is like, say if someone's got a wedding coming up, the common words they'll look up is like, okay, I live in Perth, I want a DJ. bang.
I want to hire it.
Yeah, first 3 results kind
Literally,
of thing, right?
man. First 3 words. Yeah, literally.
You know, instead of like using other niche names or whatever, it's like what we're saying with the infrared. It's like, it's not Perth podcast kind of thing. It's just infrared. People.
Well, should we do a test right now?
Yeah, if you want, let's do a test. Yeah.
Oh, now I'm actually gonna look like an idiot.
Oh, here we go. Now Google's listening.
I'll be
Western sounds.
Go and
Western
view all.
sounds?
Go in the what's it called? Business analytics.
Yeah, the analytics. Yeah.
How do I do
Go
that?
go down.
And then
View all?
View all. From that first
here.
page. I better get back. I better give that guy a call.
Yeah, that's it. Be like, oh, bruh, help
Yeah,
me.
money.
There you go, money.
Is that 4th? 5th?
Oh, look at those 5-star ratings there.
It's my mum, my nan, my other grandma.
That's it. That's all you need.
You guys after the show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 100%.
Anyone watching?
We'll back you.
Yeah, literally, man.
Even Lab 6 is up there. Why is Lab 6 on there though? Because they don't hire DJs out.
Oh, ad.
It's an ad.
It's an ad.
They're paid for it.
Yep.
So that should be elite.
Yeah.
Elite. I learned Lab 6.
Yeah, what? You went to Lab 6?
Oh, yeah, I learned. So,
Oh, really?
obviously, back then, didn't know how to DJ. I was just kind of hacking it. And then Luke Chan was my teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Great dude. Awesome DJ. If you actually, I'm going to give him a quick shout out here. If you do want to learn how to DJ, go to Lab 6. Jeremy, the owner, awesome dude. Learned so much from them. Definitely wouldn't be where I am without them. Amazing people. And
well, that's it.
school.
Everyone that's come on this show and has been to Lab 6 have just said nothing but amazing things.
Really good. Really
That's
good.
the thing. It's like, you know, then we've had some people say like, you know, they've gone to your shot and then they've gone to Lab 6 after and been like, why did I go to your shot? Like, I should have just gone straight to Lab 6.
I'm sure like they all would have their perks. Like, I think if you know how to DJ, or if you've had like, if you have some education behind it, you could like teach someone pretty well. You know, you said you taught Dan. Do you know what I mean? So he's obviously come. I don't know. Did he only learn from you?
No. He was dabbling in it, and I had been doing it for a couple of years. And when we met at that party, that's when we both we learnt off each other.
Awesome.
But that's sometimes like the best way you can do it though. Is like, you know, just being in a group. And
I've
just
never
hang out
been
and
a
chat.
fan of like going through like paying for Lab 6. It's not because I think Lab 6 aren't good. It's just whether you want. I feel like the big pull for something like Lab 6 is like the connections you get.
Yeah.
So like the people you meet, and that'll give you inroads to like actually playing gigs. Whereas if you learn, like I did, mainly off YouTube and just DJing yourself.
See, I was actually talking about that today, kind of. Where it's not so much Lab 6, but it's like a gym membership.
Yeah.
You know? You pay for a gym membership. Some people don't even go. Some people just like half-ass it. But the ones that actually take advantage of it and do the best they can, they get the best improvements out of it. So you pay for Lab 6, and if you're going there to be like, I want to be the next top DJ, well, then they'll see that enthusiasm and be like, okay, let's give him a go. Let's actually, you know, hook him up with like Daniel Rashilla.
Yep.
He was he went to Lab 6 and then and then he's like getting one-on-one lessons with Shock One and all sorts of shit. Like,
Yeah, you talk about like a recurring work for them.
Yeah.
I did the DJ course, and then the production course with Jeremy as well. And then I've done a few other things outside of Lab 6 with a few other producers in Perth, which has like really helped me. But I think they were like really the foundations of like me learning, because like, as I said, when I was younger, DJing, not actually knowing, literally not even knowing, like someone who looks at you and goes like, this is how you do, like watching you DJ, like there's so much technical aspects of it and there's so much into it, music theory wise and everything.
That's it, yeah.
Me just going to Lab 6 and obviously telling Luke, my instructor, yeah man, like I've dabbled in it, like I've been doing it for this long, this is kind of my story. Him going, okay, cool, like this guy's obviously got some sort of an idea. I had a mix, he had a mix. I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed right now that I just said that I know how to DJ. Like, and then from week 1 to week 10 of the 10-week course, I realized that I had absolutely no education whatsoever. The fact that I was literally starting from scratch. So if you went in there with absolutely no theory on how to DJ on any music wise, and you did that 10-week course, you would literally be able to come, like if you did the whole 10-week course, I'd be comfortable with giving you a gig at one of my events, 100%.
Yeah.
Just from knowing that in that 10-minute course you would know everything.
That's it. If anyone's watching, hit him up.
I know my 10% lab 6.
That's it. Get through 10 weeks and then hit him up.
Lab 6.
Yeah.
Actually, what you should do, pull up their website as well.
Yeah, I'm not beyond
brandish their stuff.
Yeah. They've actually paid me a bit to come in and talk about it.
I'm a DL. Yeah.
I'm not above. Not above begging for a
please
for a sponsorship.
Please. Oh, look who that is. Yeah, with Morgan.
Morgan's got.
Yeah,
I do a bit of stuff with Morgan. He's kind of helped me a bit.
Oh, really? He is so talented.
No, it's like bullshit.
Yeah,
it's actually bullshit.
Like, he is just so talented. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Like, it makes sense that he went on basically like a bit of a world tour kind of thing.
Yeah, literally, man. Like, just his knowledge. I was like, what the fuck? It's going well.
Yeah,
there's a bit going on.
Yeah, that's it. Just dedication, obsession with production.
Yeah, obsession is a really good word too. And just music, I think he's so talented because, like, something I'm trying to learn is my knowledge of music and how music actually works, instead of just being like, okay, like this is how to DJ. Do you know what I mean? Production wise, or trying to get through it by hacking, certain things. But like Morg's knowledge is like, everything is from scratch, and everything's like pure, and everything's music based. It's like, it was never originally meant to be just some dubstep track that's like crazy sounds that everyone can headbang to. Like, it's actually music orientated.
That's it. Well, that's the thing, is like when you listen to their music, it's just like the synths that go into it, the kind of like just the vibe, the overall atmosphere that the music that he creates. It's like, it isn't just like straight into heavy dub. It's just like, it's got a whole story behind it, kind of thing. And that's what a lot of people that have come on the podcast have also said as well, where it's like, when you go to make music, it's got to have like a vibe. It's got to have that atmosphere. You got to, I mean, you can just throw a bunch of sounds together, but when you throw those bunch of sounds together, you're obviously in some sort of like, mood, like, or whatever it is, to be able to make you go, I want to make a full-on track. I want to make a chill track. I want to do this. I want to do that.
It's a great word, mood. Like,
yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to make. And a lot of the time I've always wanted to make the same thing, but what I used to create is different to what I'm creating now. I haven't actually released a track in a while. I've got a bit of stuff coming out. But what like Morgan said to me was pretty much like, it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't all need to be the same. It makes it different. And like mood is massive, because let's say I'm in the studio producing or making something at random hours of the night or whatever. Like, the mood I'm in is the track I'm making. Like, I can't just make the exact same thing every time.
Yeah.
So,
but that's a good thing though, because it's like, if you just keep making the same thing, you get bored.
Correct. It just, because I produce, like, I'd say now it's like progressive house or like techno or like a more underground house, which is very similar, and it has like it's like, I can't just release like a new disco track. Or I wouldn't make a drum and bass track. I wouldn't dabble in other genres. I would never ever, even as much as I love drum and bass, I could never. It just literally defeats the purpose of
just like,
of underground house. So you would never see like, okay, Camel Fat's like a commercial underground act, I would say. Like, they would never release a drum and bass track.
Yeah,
cool, that makes sense. Yeah. Do you think that's like a thing? Like,
well, funnily enough, when you get big enough, some like Camel Fat or Fisher or like not so much Diplo, but like, there's like, there was a group called Command Q. Have you ever heard of them at all?
No.
So it's kind of whack, because basically, like, you can't quote me on this, but this is what I heard through the grapevine in a way, right? Basically, Diplo comes to Perth. He's part of the Stereosonic tour, and then he plays one of their tracks out about. It's like every single city he plays in, he plays some of the local music kind of thing, right? And so with that, he played a Command Q song. He said, yeah, I like those guys, all right? Let's sign them to Mad Decent.
Yeah.
Sign them to Mad Decent, right? But then it was basically like, you have to make X amount of songs in X amount of time, right? We'll fly you over to Los Angeles and you can stay in Los Angeles, but you got to live, we're not going to provide you like, food or any amenities or like housing or anything like that. You have to do that, and we'll give you 2 gigs a month, right? But
there's a lot going on here.
That's what I mean. But it's like, they couldn't do it because they moved over to Los Angeles or wherever it was in America, and they're surviving off 2 gigs a month, right? And they're probably getting like $500 US per gig or something like that, right? Huge. But $500 US per gig, so you get 1,000 overall. Then they can't survive over there. They picked up secondary jobs. They're trying to make it in the big, big capital kind of thing. And then they just came back here, and then they were huge over here. But they're trying to break out into the US industry, but they couldn't. because it's like it's just such a large competition. But
Is signing to a label even like necessary anymore in the music industry?
well, that's it. That's why a lot of people make their own labels. Because
You get all these like wild promises, and most of the time I feel like they don't really deliver.
but see,
Either
like,
that, or you get the promises, but they don't last forever.
You know Chumba?
Chumba, yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Self-released. So like their Trubadurskins EP was they've only ever self-released,
Yeah.
and then
It's all about how you market yourself.
yeah,
That's-
Jade, you know Twirl? Jaden
Yeah, Twirl, yeah.
He said to me, self-released, man.
Yeah.
Self-released. Like, I'm not sure if there was something that's ever gone on with him or friends who have been, fucked over by labels or whatever. But it makes sense because you get everything and you're in control of everything.
Mm.
But then obviously on the opposite side, it's like the chances of making it self-released compared to on a label is like 1 to 50. Like, do you know what I
That's
mean?
it, yeah. And like I've heard stories with like Circus Records as well.
Yeah.
And like with Circus Records, they literally say, we're moving in this direction, you need to fit in the box. And it's like, if you want to fit in the box, you can be part of our label, and we give you promotion, we give you views, we give you this and
I
that.
see the other side of it
But-
though, from the label's point of view, because like you
It's
want
their
to
brand.
you want to be like a specific brand and have a specific sound.
That's it.
From the label's perspective,
For sure. Like,
Yeah.
and especially in the house world, I think that's massive. Like, as a house artist, if I went and played a geisha, like geisha's very good. Also, do you call it geisha or geisha?
Geisha.
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 Yeah,
Awesome. Sick.
yeah. If someone says geisha, I'll be like, what?
Yeah, literally, man.
Okay.
Where everyone goes, what are you talking about? What is this geisha?
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I play geisha. And every time I go there, I would rather play like tech house or like underground stuff, like more like techno or progressive. Obviously, it's pure house, so you can't play anything else. You can kind of dabble in that and just go, Dan, I just played bass house before.
Good on him.
That's it.
Straight after me too. It was like after my like 9-minute techno track, he comes out with this bang, comes going. People are just going nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that like in the house world, it's like it's really hard to kind of divert from that genre. Like where Diplo, you brought up before, like, he's got on my mind that it's like a tech house track, and then he's got like
He's got everything.
he's got everything, man. But I feel like he's not that he can't do it. It's just not. Hasn't been done in the house world as much. So have you ever seen Fisher release anything that's not tech house?
That's
He
it.
wouldn't even release a deep house track.
Yeah,
Does
of course
Fisher
not.
even like make his own music? Like, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, we won't go there.
Yeah.
We won't go there, right? He's a good DJ. He's a good performer, whatever that
He
means.
is.
Ghost producer.
It's like
That's the thing. Like everyone hates Fisher in Australia, but he's so big everywhere else.
That's
It's the
it.
same. I feel like it's the same with like Alice in Wonderland as well. Like she's not that big in Australia, even though she's an Australian artist.
No, she's big in Australia, but she's bigger worldwide. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's like
I feel like
Nova.
people don't go to the show for Alice in Wonderland though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, but you go for Fisher. Yeah,
That's it, yeah. It's the popularity thing. It's like, have you guys ever heard of Nervo at all?
yeah.
And so Nervo, I'm pretty sure one of the girls are from Perth and the other one's from over east or whatever, but they came to Perth like a couple of years ago, couldn't sell out, so they had to cancel their show.
I actually would have thought of that because
Yeah. and it's-
everyone I've asked about them. I was literally in Bali. I saw them at Sky Garden.
Yeah.
and that's apparently shut down now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
no.
news to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
corrupt,
Jason Stone
apparently.
ages ago when we were first doing the episodes.
Yeah, I didn't think it closed down though. I thought he was just.
No, well, they were in. There
Giving
was
up on it.
something going on with the owners, and there was money owed or something like that, or whatever. the
I mean,
case
that
was.
place has always been a little sketch.
But that's it though. With Nervo, they play at Tomorrowland. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Right, but then like an artist that would sell out Perth couldn't even get a set at Tomorrowland.
yeah,
It's crazy how it works.
Yeah.
It is, and that's like booking for moves. We're always thinking that we're like, okay, who's good value for money? Who isn't a big artist anywhere else, but would pull numbers here?
that's it.
Literally, I've just got lists of it. I've got like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I wish I could show. I'm not going to show you.
Yeah, that's
But-
right.
yeah, you should probably keep that to yourself.
Yeah,
That's
but
confidential.
For anyone, like, it's a really good idea to think about, like, for any promoters, you don't need to book massive names worldwide. Like, you're just trying to book for who's going to pull in Perth. Like, shit, that song's going nuts in Perth right now. Oh my God, that's like the first biggest track for that artist. Book him.
That's
Do you know
it.
what I mean? Like, that pulls numbers.
Yep. But that's exactly it though. And it's like it's one of those things where it's, back in the day when I used to go to Capital all the time, I got gigs there, but I didn't get a lot of gigs there, and the reason why is because I couldn't get the numbers through the door. And it's like, you can be an average DJ, but if you can promise 150 people through the door,
It's a lot.
it's a lot of people because the spend per head, the cost per head kind of thing. And it's like those people go into the venue. Well, there you go. And it's it's not a popularity thing, but it almost is in a way. Like,
yeah, I wonder how much Perth promoters have moved past that the old trick of, okay, if you can get 50 people in, we'll book you. Where like for moves, I mean, I want to say that we don't think about how many people they bring. It's always good if you can bring, pulling power and things like that.
Yeah,
but even some of the biggest like locals we've had, I don't just book them because I think they're going to bring people. I'm sure that some of the biggest artists we've had came by themselves. Do you know what I mean? The music needs to be good. People come to like boutique events in Perth for the fact that it's good music, it's good vibe, and everyone's going. Everyone wants to be where everyone is.
That's it.
I think people also forget that when you're expecting your DJs that you're booking to bring an X number of people, you should be paying them for marketing too.
That's
correct.
Exactly it.
Yeah. Because you're doing things outside of that hourly pay that you're getting paid for. That's you're paid $80 an hour, right? But I want you to do 3 extra hours outside of that hour. Messaging your mates.
It's not easy wrangling all your friends. Like 50 people, like that's quite a wrangle.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
It is. And because I know trying to get just 50 of my mates to my event now is, and I hate being that, I try to steer away from that. To be that, hey, like, are you coming? Like, I just want people to naturally want to come.
That's
you know what I mean? So,
but that's where you build the brand, that you build the vision,
and
basically.
then it
just happens. Correct. The ball just rolls. I mean, just look at Seasons in a way. 15,000 people on the weekend.
Literally, like,
man. That's not 15,000 of their individual mates. That's just like, we're promoting a really cool event. Come to it, and then the ball just kept rolling, and then it
just goes and goes. And once you get past that certain point, it just.
That's it. And it was like they sold something like 2,000 tickets in 30 minutes or some shit.
5,000 in under 30 minutes.
Oh, 5,000. Yeah, that's it, right? Like, I know. That's bonkers. Like, it's nuts. But it all comes down to the marketing. Like you said, you got a degree in marketing, right? So that's the thing. Like, I love marketing. Marketing is just, it's everything. Like it's not everything, but when it comes to music, entertainment, hospitality, and stuff like that, it's promotion, marketing. It's getting your name out there, but at the same time, it's like, it's just creating the brand kind of thing. And that's what a lot of DJs, almost every DJ, it's one of those things where they make their Facebook page and they put all the photos and the videos and all the content on it just to make it look as pretty as possible, so that people actually like their pages and stuff like that.
It's funny you say that, because
it's a full-time job.
It is, man. And I think like a lot of the reason, like I've just come up with like White Pepper, just this weird whack name.
It's a good name though, because it's unique.
It's unique, and it's also like, it was literally, funny story how I got it. It was like I was playing. I can't remember the gig. It was like an under 18s festival.
The Hyperfest.
It might have been that.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
But no, it was the one that got. I'm pretty sure it cancelled. You know that hectic one that got cancelled?
Was that the one in Midland? I knew they had one. I can't remember what they called it, but they would do this sort of event where they get local DJs and live acts as well.
Liquid Candy or whatever it was. And
not Liquid Candy.
No, there was one that got like Pendulum and stuff like that for it, I'm pretty sure, and they had Excision for it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it was one like that, and it was one with actually artists. And then my DJ name used to be Chalmers. My last name was Z, and I had this big old like bold lettered logo that just looked like I was the biggest rhythm DJ in history.
Hell yeah.
With massive Z, bro. Like,
house DJ with a rhythm name.
Correct, man. And I was like, back then I wasn't even a house DJ. I was just like a whatever DJ. I was just like...
Just party.
And I actually wish I felt like that now, because I was literally just like, oh, I just want a gig. I'm so excited. Like, and I got this gig and I had like a day. Like it wasn't a day, but it was like, it was literally before 12 p.m. we needed our names in. And then I spoke to the dude and he's like, you don't need a logo. We can do your logo. We'll just start putting text, but we sent the name. And I was like, I'm not putting Charms there. Like, I've been saying to myself, I've been putting it off that I want a DJ name, right? So we literally spitballing ideas. And then I came up with it. And the boys like, no, you can't do that. Like,
really? They said no to White Pepper.
But now it's funny that we say that. But right then, they're like, what even is that? Like, what the fuck is that, right? And then... we had like these, we literally came down to like a list of 10 names, and then I was like, no, I actually like White Pepper. Like, I actually like it. Like, I don't care that it's weird. I think it's cool. Like, fuck, I'm going for it. And I just did it, and then because it's different, and because I'm weird, I don't know. No, but then you're right in terms of like, I think a lot of my time goes, I'd say 50%, I wouldn't even know how to split percentages, but almost more time would go into the brand. And like, it's a brand. So what my photos that I'm doing, the bios that I'm making, because obviously I self-release all my own music. So then I have to put in like, plans over the next month of, okay, how am I going to market this new track that comes out? What post am I going to make? Then like I release through TuneCore. It's like DistroKid. I think it's really good.
Don't think I've ever heard of DistroKid.
We were talking about this before. Remember, I was talking about like digital distribution platforms and how you get onto Spotify. Okay. That's one of those companies.
Yeah. Okay. So that's DistroKid, I think, would say, if you asked most like new producers about it, everyone would know what DistroKid is. I'd say it's like the main one. Jake Healy-12, he recommended TuneCore. He just said he thinks it's better because they actually collect all your the money you make from all of your platforms, and then it goes into your TuneCore account. Okay. So they actually collect all the money you make. So obviously you get like 0.whatever cents for a stream on Spotify.
But it takes that, you don't have to do it. Like...
I have like $400 in my account. We're still trying to work it out because I was talking to you would have heard of Tina Says?
Yeah.
So I've actually been really good friends with Tina over the past probably year. And she was like, there's no way you have that much money in your account. She's like, we literally looked at, like, I got a few streams on Circles, but she's been around for so long. She's like, I didn't even have that much money in my account. Like, I haven't even made that much money. Or like, she probably has, but she's just like, there's no way you can have that much money in your account. And then we're still trying to work it out. Maybe like a few people have bought it off iTunes or something. But it's super cool how you don't need to worry about anything revenue-wise. You just put the track out there and then it comes to your account. I know it's not a lot of money, but it makes it simple. And especially for a bigger artist.
That's it.
You don't need to worry about all that. Okay, where's my money going? Like, do you know, I've got 1 million streams on YouTube. Do I get paid for that? Do you know what I mean? Where it just does it naturally for you.
That's really good. I had no idea.
So good.
That honestly, it just makes it simple. As you said, simplifies everything. It makes it easy.
For the artist, I wouldn't see why you would go... I'm sure there'd be other distribution platforms that do it, but I don't know why you'd go with anyone that wouldn't do it. Because and what if you're a major artist making like thousands or like hundreds?
Well, see, I always thought that the manager would do that kind of stuff. That's like part of their job.
I guess for
back in the day, it was But nowadays, with how many platforms we have to put to, it's all been it's created its own industry.
Especially if you have so many managers, so many artists under like let's say you're a manager, you have 10 artists. You don't need for them 10 artists, to get every track they do from everywhere they've released and collect that. So like, what if you miss one or?
And that's it. It's like it's another full-time
job. And it's 2021, dude. Like they probably just sit there with their hands in their ass. Like,
that's it. Yeah.
But
just make sure you're talking into your mic, Bailey.
Oh yeah, I'm probably mumbling. I'm a very big mumbler.
That's all good.
We get the leans like as the podcasts go on. You get more comfortable.
Thank you. Yeah, literally.
Just a little bit, if that's all right.
Yeah, no worries.
It's too good. So with the events and the festivals and stuff like that, so like you've started running Moves then, right? And so like, how did you get the name for Moves? Like, where did that come from? And like, where did the vision come from as well? Like, because you had niche events, right? And so you did Perth DJ Hire when you were in year 10, and you kept going from there. But then like after that, how did you want to get into the events and stuff? Because you went to Lab 6, you started learning how to DJ, you did house parties, you started renting equipment out, this and that. But then like, what was the branch off to try and do? Because Moves is like it's a mini festival kind of thing almost, right?
I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, of course.
Yeah, I think
because I've heard about that, and I've seen it from just like because
you guys did a boiler room.
I do my research.
Do
my research on my phone and like so that's popped up and that's got a lot of people going. And all the photos looks like it's packed and busy and like
I think moving from like Perth DJ Hire into like me DJing, and then like you go to an event and you obviously have a really good time on a festival and everyone's there in the mosh pit looking up, 10 beers drink deep or whatever you've taken that night, and you look up to the stage, you go like, I want to do this. This is the coolest thing ever, right? And like I kind of had a passion from just like being there, or being at a festival or at an event, going, I want to give this feeling to other people.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, still to this day, I think like the biggest like compliment or the best thing I could get from doing it is like just being at an event and just looking and just seeing people have like a really good time together and like being in the moment, and then like you can go like, oh, this is something we've created. I think it's like super cool.
That's it. That's awesome. That's like whenever I get guests on, they make their own music and then they say like, oh, I played my song out and people singing along to it. It'd be like similar kind of thing, right?
Similar concepts.
Yeah,
literally.
So, like, how many events have you done for moves now and stuff? Because
I actually couldn't even tell you. I reckon.
Oh, really? Is that many?
We've done too many.
Okay.
So
shit.
I'm just like, next one, when's?
Yeah.
I want to. We're at the point now where there'll be less events, but there'll be bigger events.
Yeah.
We've also collabed with like Palace Entertainment. We did Palace of Loveless. Have you heard of that event?
No, Palace of Loveless.
Like, it was at Centenary. You'd heard of Centenary?
Yeah.
There's all your events.
Yeah. So Daybreak Club. Ben McDonald runs Daybreak. He's a really, really good dude. And they're a really good event.
Well, you've even done things like Christmas at the Court. So you've done like Retrobite. You've done warehouse parties.
Yeah, at Perth Mess Hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the one that's near the TAFE, right?
Next to the TAFE. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool venue. Yeah. Different too.
I've never been in there, but I thought it was all like cabaret stuff and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I had no idea events were thrown there. Because I thought that was called the Swan Barracks or something like that.
Yeah, so the old Swan Barracks is like the hostel that's connected to.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then there's like a car park and...
Because I've walked past and like, this is Old Swan Barracks. Like, okay. And then I've seen Perth Mess Hall and think like, it's probably in East Perth.
Literally connected. And then, we did an event in the car park there. Because it's like connected and they're owned both indoor and obviously the indoor warehouse part and the car park. Car park's obviously used during the day, but after hours they have a license to drink and run an event there.
Oh wow! Okay.
So like our last one we did there was like a summer warehouse, we called it, and it was literally we put the stage like outside.
Yeah, and that's what people want though. Like,
but yeah, everyone wants open air. So
that's it.
Literally,
open air is the best thing. Being able to smoke, drink, hang out,
especially
dance,
if you're planning to have like a huge because that was your warehouse one seemed to be your first party, so I assume it was going to be quite a thrashing party. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That open air stage, like you just can't at night when you can look up and see the stars as well, and you got the cool wind at night.
You can't beat it. That's literally I'm trying to think about. I'm like, summer. How do you do something indoor like?
Yeah, you can't. It just turns into a sweat pit.
Literally, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the best time to do boiler rooms.
Yeah, you can do boiler rooms. You get over that.
Sweaty boiler room.
That was an interesting concept that we tried to do because it's not really what we originally Moves was meant to be. Was all these different party ideas under the one name. So we've done like a day party, a Sunday sesh, a boiler room, warehouse parties, like.
So they're like all different themes.
Literally, yeah. So now I've kind of, which is interesting how we've done it, and now we've kind of realised that the open boutique kind of fun vibes, if that feels like we're going towards more the commercial music. We try to dabble in like house. I wouldn't even say, I'd say like more like Dom Dollar, Fisher kind of stuff. It works, but you need to have commercial in there. Like our crowd, like we sometimes dabble in drum and bass, but like, I mean, some drum and bass is becoming commercial now.
But that's what's so interesting about Perth. I was talking about this once again today. Like the thing is that Perth is in a bubble. And it's such an interesting bubble because you go to Melbourne, you go to Victoria, like you go to Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, wherever, and it's all like house, techno. It's like, you know, it's more heavier side stuff like that. But then you hear, and you still hear Flow Rider Low. Like,
literally, bro.
Yeah, I know. So do I. And fucking gimme ABBA. Like,
yeah, I know.
But the thing is, though, it's like that's the bubble we're in. We're so far away from everything else that the influences we have are things like, you know, Excision or heavier stuff or Dom Dollar or Fisher. But then no matter what, you still hear that remix of ABBA.
I think it's like pretty much to do with like attention span, basically.
Yeah, but
like,
that's a bad thing to say though, but it's almost
the clubbing scene nowadays is more like popcorny instead of like people used to go to nightclubs to like hear music they've never heard before or actually hang out. But you go to a club nowadays, you can't even talk to the friend like who's a meter like away from you because it's too loud. Yeah.
So that's why I love venues like, have you ever thrown an event at Sewing Room at all?
No, we were going to.
Like,
I've played there a couple of times.
Such
cool,
cool venue. Like, cool venue. That's the thing is like Damo, who's my other camera guy, he knows the guy who actually did the soundproofing for it.
Sick.
And the thing is like when you're standing at the bar, you can talk and have a conversation with your friends, but then as soon as you go near the stage, it's just like crystal clear. And it's just perfect kind of thing. And that's what venues need.
100%.
Because it's like, that's why the smoking sections are usually so popular. Because they go out to the smoking section to chat and hang out. And catch up and see your mates and stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, when we're talking specifically about audio, only because I know a little, I'm not, like, classically trained in audio, but I've done, you know, stuff here and there. It's not necessarily about, like, peak output. Like, people just want volume. But, like, if you get a good set of speakers that are, like, high quality and, like, you can hear, like, the different spectrum of audio, you don't need to turn it up that loud.
That's it.
So.
That's exactly it.
What are you going to do?
I'm deaf as well.
Yeah.
I have my
so
headphones
am I.
full when I put DJ. Like, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
And one of my good friends has like literally like full ear problems. I remember being in the car with him one day, showing him like one of my tracks, and he's like I was literally not even on, and he was like you can't go any louder. Like my ears like ring, like it hurts. And I was like, well, you're not going to be able to hear my
What
track,
happens
bro.
when you run out of
That's it,
volume?
like, you got to hear it.
I know, man. But I actually need to think about that. And everyone tells me like I need to wear like earplugs or what? And it's probably I actually would need to think about it before I do damage my ears because everything's redline. You know, redline's your headline. So
that's it.
I've started to notice it in the last couple of years.
yeah, literally. I'm known for that, eh?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I think it's like super loud, but I'm just redlining everything. It's
Just
so
say
crazy.
it's an effect that you're putting on it. This is like a little bit of distortion. Who
Yeah,
cares?
literally,
You know?
that's
It's
it,
part of the
right.
experience.
That's it. It's not a 128 kilobit track. It's just red.
We're just redlining. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's 128 as well. Because I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm not buying it off friggin' Beatport.
So the thing is as well. So when you go to run these events, like what goes into actually making them, getting them going and stuff? Like what's the process? Because like you can't just go, I'm going to throw an event, bang, let's have 5,000 people there, kind of thing. Like,
I would say like if you run like reasonably sized events regularly, it's almost like a full time thing. I know most of my friends that do it, like Josh who does Loudmouth, Phil and Mike who do Pineapple Banana Block Party, Isaac Jones who does like all the Get Down Club stuff, Ben who does Daybreak. They all would spend, I'd say, a lot of time on it. I definitely know Josh has his own office and that's like a full-time thing for him. I know Phil and Mike would 110% be a full-time thing for them. Yeah. And if it's not, then they're amazing and geniuses and I wouldn't sit down with them. But
it's a lot of effort, hey.
It is, man.
So much.
Do you have like a good team behind you as well?
It's only me.
So it's literally just you.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean,
I thought you were going to say it's like
there's
2 or 3
benefits to
people.
that. Like you don't
But
have to
that's it.
pass it through anybody and wait for them to
Well, it was
finish.
originally my friend Connor Smith and myself. And then we kind of started up together, and then it kind of got a little bit big, and there's a little thing that happened between Connor and I. Obviously, wish that didn't happen, and he was like one of my best mates and stuff. Life gets in the way. Had a bit of a falling out. He was a really good dude, but then now it's just myself. But obviously, I have a really good support base around me. Like all my friends, family have been really good.
I'm quite impressed if you're running all of that by yourself. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
It seems like
don't like let yourself down on that.
No, that's impressive. Like,
but I think also like venues help. I have a marketing crew now. Where you probably know Brandon Willington.
Oh really? Yeah. Where you?
So he does like helps with like all of our ads on Facebook and stuff. They're super good.
Yep.
Brody, she's helping me at the moment. She's wicked. And then we're starting to look at some more open air events and this other concept that I won't talk about.
That's all right. Yeah.
This pop up idea for end of next year, which is kind of looking to be like like a bigger, larger scale thing.
Pop-ups are almost the well, it like
Perth, man, like,
that's it. Like that's
depends
that's
who you
thing,
ask.
like,
Some people think pop-ups are killing the scene.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like it's a double-edged sword almost because like pubs and bars and clubs and stuff like that can struggle when it comes to pop-up events, but at the same time you can make a lot of money and like it just pop-up events work so well, and it's been proven that it works so well in Perth.
literally.
And then it's interesting because it's like, like keep it between us, but I heard through the grapevine that, Sets on the Beach, they try to take it to Melbourne. And Melbourne was just like...
We're not on a live stream or anything.
Wait, what?
We're
Yeah,
not-
no, it's fine. Yeah, I'm not mentioning names or anything, but apparently that, they went to Melbourne and the Melbourne government was just like, no, we're not having pop-up events over here because it'll ruin our hospitality industry. That's literally what they said and said, nah,
Wow.
see you later. But that's the thing though, right? That's like...
Really?
Yeah, apparently that's what happened.
Hectic.
Yeah. Because they've got Chapel Street and they've got all these, St Kilda.
When did they go over and ask for that?
Oh,
though?
this is like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say if they didn't last 2 years, of course Victoria's going to say no.
No, this is ages ago, way before COVID and stuff like that.
Wow.
But that's the thing though, is like, with the pop-up events, they kind of took over Perth, but it was good because kids had an outlet to go to and go and party at open air events and this and that. But at the same time, like, say, my uncle's pub, the Flying Scotsman, struggled because of it.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what, it's one of the reasons why it kind of went belly up a bit was because all the people that were going to the pub were going to these pop-up events because it's the new, fresh, cool thing to do instead of going to their local kind of thing. But
Great.
that's what I mean, double-edged sword.
You're right. You're right, it is. And it's also obviously benefits everyone if a promoter goes to a venue, like a permanent venue, like our next one's at the Court, where obviously do everything promoter side, so ticket wise, and then they still take the bar. So in terms of benefiting everyone, and if everyone benefits, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's still obviously.
But that's the agreement you got to work out in a way.
It is. Well, yeah, there's obviously an agreement with everything. Like, as much as it seems like we're coming in and we're the event and we're doing everything, like, for everyone that thinks that the event does everything, like, no, the venue does everything. Like, there's obviously a lot in terms of, you know, marketing, and we create the vibe and we run the DJs, and there's obviously a lot from both aspects. But venues don't get as much credit as they should. Like, to be a venue and host an event, you're doing just as much, if not more, than the promoter.
That's it, yeah.
So that's why open air events, like, you're doing everything in terms of, let's say, okay, Seasons, for example, because they're the promoter as well. They're doing everything in terms of promoting the event, doing the site, booking the artists, doing everything media-wise, everything marketing-wise.
Beverage-wise,
toilet-wise,
everything,
permit-wise, which is a nightmare. I know cyclists...
Cleaning up, that's the worst part.
Nightmare, mate. Cyclists do their site build, who are amazing. They do, like, most of the large-scale events in Perth. And they basically would, like, obviously help with mapping, the site build, working out how many toilets you would need, getting security in, getting permits, getting your Reg 18, things like that. And then, so literally, there's obviously a lot of different teams and crews involved. So that's why it's like, yeah, as me being an individual promoter and having it as myself, there's still obviously other people involved. It's not like, you know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah,
it's
you kind of
like the orchestrator, if that makes sense.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it, exactly.
Sure.
You're the orchestrator.
Correct.
You're like you're the top dog, but at the same time, you got to make sure everyone's, you know, everything's
making
going.
sure it happens.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the thing as well, because as you said, like when you try and get permits and stuff, like you don't know what you're doing. Like you got
like you're watching High.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is like, you know, making sure that, you know, you've got first aid on hand, making sure the police are there.
There's so much, man. There's actually
noise cancellation or noise problems, like, you know, making sure it's in the right area where, you know, it's not in Claremont Showgrounds where people are going to complain about it, kind of thing.
Well, like with a Reg 18, so that's like a noise permit license.
Yeah.
You literally need to pay someone to work out the noise you're allowed to maximally go to.
D-belt,
and then you need to pay the decibels you can legally go to, and then in that area. And then you literally need to pay for somebody to be there on the night of the event with a
sound
machine
to monitor it.
Right, to monitor it, which is like $100 and something an hour, like ridiculous. I'm like, mate, I better not get in this industry.
This is why a lot of
$7 an hour. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is why a lot of the
the
industry, like the old guard industry in Perth from a couple of years ago, are moving like to like bush doofs and like illegal raves and stuff like that.
That's it.
Because there's none of this faffing about with red tape and COVID plans, and I mean, like,
there still is, but it's not as much.
Well,
though.
I work with a rave crew, and we still do our COVID plan. We just obviously we're not going to get approval for it because a lot of the time when we're, you know, our events are not
It's actually so
sanctioned in the venues that we or the places that we do it.
We're still doing the right thing.
That's it. Yeah.
We're still making an attempt
to
do the right thing.
But see, that's exactly like the Blossom crew kind of thing. So when the Blossom crew throw their events, you know, they actually they contact the aviation center and make sure that there's actually a blip on the radar so planes don't go near it because they're shooting lasers. Kind of thing. Like,
so they're doing the
doing the actual right thing, and apparently it's like the money that goes into that, and like going.
You've got to have a license to operate the laser. You've got to have a safety operator.
Yep, because it's.
Did you go to the Blossom?
Yeah, I went there. Yeah,
was it good?
Oh, it was off its shit.
I've never been to a bush tour.
Oh, dude, next year.
Really? You should come.
Please, because everyone's been like, I'm literally, even though I play underground music, I'm just always in this commercial like scene. I've never been to a bush tour.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to like an illegal rave?
Yeah, I would say I've been on a legal rave, but I wouldn't say I've been to like a
proper bush tour.
Like a Blazing Swan or
See, I want to do
Blossom.
Blaze next, but like Blossom, honestly, like it was just so much fun. But the thing is, 96 DJs 24 hours a day for 4 days.
It's a lot, eh?
That's it. Well, 3-4 days.
It's pretty like, how does that work? Do you
So-
can you go to sleep? Like,
No,
I
you
slept
don't.
in the back of the
The music goes 24 hours a day.
I slept in the back
From
of
the
my-
opening of the gates to the closing of the gates.
so it's 4 days straight, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I slept in the back of my ute.
Well, it's 3 days
400,
straight. Yeah, okay.
400 meters away from well, no, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they did Monday as well.
Well, but the festival officially ends on...
It's like Monday afternoon or something.
I don't know. Whatever. It's whatever.
But it was just nuts though, because it's like 4 a.m. in the morning, you're trying to sleep, and it's just like my car's vibrating. It's like, okay, I'll just put earbuds.
I'll just get
in.
up and party.
Well, that's actually what I did on Saturday night. Like,
Really?
I just got up and just like, all right, I'm gonna get some food out of my car, and just walked around. I was like, oh, there's people still
in that
eating.
situation,
Like,
I think the
party.
only thing you can do is be a 48-hour freak. And by
Yeah.
48-hour freak, I mean you don't sleep.
And that's it. Like when I was
wow.
laying there, I was like,
Some people do that?
Yeah, some people do. Yeah.
4 days.
Or-
Wouldn't you like?
Well, no, I don't know about 4 days, but like
They'll sleep like the night before they leave, basically.
yeah, and then they'll just go on a bender. Like,
Literally.
but it's just nuts. So much fun. Like honestly, it's just
Bet,
so
like,
much fun.
Would you enjoy it more than a commercial festival in Perth?
Like they have like activities, right? And like the thing that woke me up, which
Do you
I
ever
was,
wanted to do yoga to like techno music?
Yeah.
No,
I know, literally
we got you
sitting
covered
there,
at
how
Blossom,
sick.
No,
yeah.
but it has this right. They had this thing,
How
right? They do this every year, and I was blown away by this because this is actually what woke me up. They have this thing called the moving rave, right? And so what happens is like you've got the parking area where everyone's like parked up and they're camping and stuff, right? And you got the lanes so everyone can like move and do this and do that, right? But what they did was everyone. Like, not everyone, but like they had a good crew, right? Someone gets a speaker, someone gets a speaker, someone gets a whole bunch of cables, someone gets part of a table, right? And there's someone DJing, right? And they're moving it up and down these lanes kind of thing. So I got woken up because someone's leaning against my car holding a fucking, big PA speaker kind of thing.
They had that a couple of years ago at Blossom, but I think they had the decks on the back of a ute.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I just saw
And the ute
people
was just like going like 10 kilometers an hour down the lanes and people were like dancing
It's
behind
just
the ute.
like Burning Man. You know when you see all them like stages that move? They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
massive structures.
But I just got woken
But
up.
it's
because
way
this-
more makeshift than that. It's like all thrown together at the last
yeah.
minute. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not even planned. It's just like we're
It's
doing
not
it.
planned by Blossom. It's just people like, we're here to
No,
party.
no,
Let's
this was
party.
planned.
Really?
This
Yeah.
is part of the itinerary.
Oh, for this one, yeah.
Yeah. It was actually
Did
on
you go
the
to Blossom as
itinerary.
well?
No, he didn't.
I didn't go this year. I couldn't make
I really
it.
wish he did though.
I
but-
wanted to come. I was
fun.
planning to go for weeks and I even took time off work,
Oh, wow.
but I couldn't go.
Well,
I
if-
just had fines and
If I'm
stuff that I had
playing
to
next
pay.
year, I should get a spare ticket and I'll hit you
Damn,
up.
please do.
Yeah,
Please
dude,
do.
it's so much fun. Like, it's an experience and a half. And
No, like none of my friends or like no one I even know even like attends. Is it like an older crowd?
no, it's all over the place. It
From
literally-
18 all the way to like 50, 60
Yeah.
year olds.
it's
Well,
nuts.
it has to be 18 plus, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's 18
And
plus.
it's like.
Oh no, no,
a
it's
bar
not
and
even
stuff
no,
there?
no, it's not even
Or is it
18
beer,
plus. No, it's
Oh, there are kids there, aren't
Yeah,
there?
that's the thing. They have like
families and shit.
they have like kids movies during the day and stuff.
Kids movies during the
Yeah.
day, and
So
then
it's
techno
like-
tent next door.
Yeah, so they had
Everyone's
like
on one.
3 stages: the chill stage, the party stage, and the main stage, right? And then they have like this tent near the chill stage where people do yoga and stuff like that. And the projector on the side of the tent, and kids go and watch it. Whilst like grandpas go off to, like doofing kind of thing. Like there was so many old dudes like like you seen from Blazing Swan, like grey hair, like plaited all the way down, like fluoro
live for it,
clothes,
man.
and they just got like their walking cane. They're just like that.
Unreal.
So cool.
The best part about these like doof festivals is not necessarily like the music and the like the partying, but it's just like
The
everybody
experience,
is
yeah.
on the like
Same level, yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone's on the same level, but everyone's approachable and wants to be approached.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that's what I've heard about it. Everyone's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It seems like it's
Everyone is a
place, but
friend,
it's
like,
I left-
immediately.
Yeah.
I left a fold-out table outside of my car, right, like the whole day and didn't move it. No one touched it. I was just blown away, and it's like it's right there in the laneway.
I probably wouldn't have stolen your
Yeah,
photo.
that-
It does happen though, like
Like it can, yeah.
it happens at festivals. You get your shit stolen.
Oh, yeah,
so.
sure.
Yeah, and so like I had a friend who'd lost her phone. She left it in the toilet, and then someone obviously nicked that. But
Imagine going like, okay, let's imagine going like listening out to Origin in Perth, and like leaving something somewhere.
yeah,
Like if you left your phone in the toilet for half an hour, and like
someone
someone
would,
walked in,
yeah.
Most people would just be like, it's gone.
most people would pitch it. Do you know what I mean? And the amount of people that would go in that toilet, and like, would you grab it and take it? Most people like
Yeah.
can't even function at that point. So
That's it, yeah.
do you take it and grab it? Take the lost property. You leave it. The next person comes in, steal it.
Yep. But see, that's why it's so interesting, the culture between like Bush Doof and then like the parties and stuff like that happen in Perth. Because Bush Doof's all about, one love and this and that. While it's like, you have things like
Everyone's an individual at a club, whereas everyone's
it.
part of the collective at a rave.
Yeah, that's
or
what's
at a
so
doof.
that's what's so nuts, because it's like, you know, you go to nightclubs, you go to do these things, and you go out in like massive events, and then it's just like everyone's in their own little separate groups almost. But at these bush tops, everyone's just like together. It's a weird vibe, but it's so cool though.
Good.
If somebody in Perth can come out with an event where it's like a fusion of the environment you get at a
literally
doof,
thinking that.
but at a club, like
I've literally been thinking about that.
yeah.
But then I actually spoke Jay. Do you know Jay Hockley?
Yep.
I actually messaged her.
Jay
She was
Dream.
there, yeah.
Yeah. And she actually played at one of the Moves events, like at the Rechabite, on like literally the silent disco on the roof. I would say in the house scene, she's one of the biggest artists in Perth. Like she literally plays all the Habitat and Pure events.
That's it.
She plays that main stage.
She played after Carl Cox. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened. I asked her about it. She's like, "Yeah, I just got a phone call, and
man.
like my mind blew away." So I was like, "All right, got
And
to play after Carl."
literally when we booked her, man, like I was like, she did message me and she said, "Hey, I'd be so keen for a move set, you know, if you ever have one available." And then we were trying to like fill the silent disco, and I was trying to think of like people who messaged me, and I was like, okay, I don't like. You obviously missed a lot of people. So Jay messaged me, and she plays a geisha, and I play geisha. So I was like, okay, cool, making it happen. Plus, we had a house channel up there, so I was like, we're booking house DJs, and the other one's party. Messaged her, literally a silent disco spot on like the rooftop bar of like a record bar, like small event moves. She was so thankful. She was like, oh my God, yes, I'd love to play it. And she was literally one of the best artists I've dealt with in terms of like on Messenger being like, thank you so much. Yes, I'm in. Being like approachable and like responding straight away and things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the fact that like she did that, but she's like this big artist. This is like,
well, tying it back to your event and stuff like that, like how do you, I mean, you said, you know, you have like, you know, your top secret confidential like tier list of DJs and stuff like that. But if someone approaches you like Jay and asks, like, are you more inclined to give them a gig kind of thing? Like,
well, yeah, I'd say like the tier thing's more for like artists in terms of like bigger artists that would book and pay. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, definitely. I think it's obviously interesting that I'm a promoter and an artist. So obviously I want to play gigs as well.
Do you play at your own events as well?
Sometimes I haven't played for the last 3.
Yeah.
Because I do want to separate it. I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about the event.
That's a good thing as well, because it's your event. You got to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Correct.
If you're up there for an hour and something bad happens, like someone jumped.
We had this conversation with Ace Bassick, right? He said he didn't like to book himself for his own events.
Nevermind.
Yeah.
Ace, hey,
Yeah.
Ace from Nevermind.
Yeah, he's been on it. Yeah.
But I don't know. It really depends. Like when you're running the event as well, it's like you know exactly what you want the vibe to be and the music to be. So it kind of makes you a perfect pick to put on your own event because you know what. Then again, as well,
if you're doing the marketing and you're making the brand, then that's the vibe you're trying to portray almost as well. Because when you go do the videos or, you know, the little mini mixes or something like that to be able to try and match what the event's supposed to be, then that's painting the picture.
Would you put yourself in the headline slot for your own event?
Great question. I've never ever headlined. I always put myself in a like. I think if I was going to open, there'd be no point in me playing because that's when I'm most stressed, running around doing the last minute shit.
Yeah.
Also, there's not that many people there. There's not really a point of me spending my energy on DJing when I can be doing last minute things and
making sure it's.
And also, there's when a lot of people are coming, so I'd like to be there to welcome them, things like that. I always like to play like, you know, second or third last, like somewhere where there's like a good crowd and it's good enough kind of build up to that. It's funny because obviously I want to play the biggest sets I can and I care about my artist side, but I do want to separate it and I don't want the event to be about me. In all sorts, I want it to be, it's not the Bailey show, right? I want it to be about the event and I want everyone to have a good time and I just want to be like a step back.
Yeah. Which is, it's a good thing to do. Like, in my opinion, that's what, you know, if you run your own event, that's what you should do.
Correct. And then I'm playing the next one. Which I'm excited about. Which I think like there's a point like I want to play them, but I'm not going to play them all. I'll play like 33.3333%.
Yeah,
right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So there's still a point where I can still enjoy it and have a good time, and you know sometimes go and have a dabble, but then a lot of the time it's not. But I do want to get to the point where it's like okay, like I don't even need to worry about DJing. Also. People are always like, why don't you just like book yourself for like 2 or 3 hours? Like you don't need to pay the DJ. It's like, There's that much expenses. I don't think I'm worried about the 80 or 100. We're about 100 an hour at Move, so
yeah. But that's good though. I mean, 1 hour set, $100. It's not bad. Yeah, it's good.
And then if you do like side stages, just like 80 or 90.
Yeah, but still, it's that's the thing though. It's just like you said, like the other expenses, like making sure everything's running smoothly, the venue hire fee, everything else. Like paying the DJs. I mean, you still pay them, but it's not the most expensive thing on the list.
No. You don't worry about it. No way.
Yeah, that's it. Like, as long as they get paid, then there's nothing really to worry about.
For sure. So
and yeah, sure everything else as well gets paid. Like.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's the problem that a lot of like big festivals or like, you know, back in the day when they actually had like, you know, Big Day Out or Soundwave and stuff like that, that's where they struggle. Because you book Red Hot Chili Peppers, they come over here and you pay them something like $60K or something like that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like some of the offers we've had, I was like, yeah, honestly, some of the offers were a lot more than I thought. And I would understand also that we're a new promoter and it's easy for someone to kind of try and take advantage of that. And also they don't really know us. They don't know how the event's going to be. They're taking a risk of sending their artist to our event, which I completely understand. But yeah, some of the offers we got were just like a lot more than I even hoped for. So then I was going like, okay, now tier 2, now tier 3. And it's like, okay, like now we're going to spend this much on an artist. We thought it was going to be this person who's going to pull not even a tenth of what this person could pull, and then your whole brain just goes, okay, now we're doing locals. So it's funny how you have a plan and then it kind of ends up being something else.
Yeah. But that's, in a way, that's kind of a good thing though, because it's like you've got your base plan, but nothing ever goes to plan. So
correct.
And the thing is, like when it morphs into its own plan, then you've got that base plan. But every event, every year, you know, things change slightly. Nothing, you know, music industry is always adjusting. And it's just like running events, you know. It's like, you know, how we have the fruit events. Ace put it in a good way at one stage where it's like all you have to do is just put a bit of fruit in the name and away you go, right? And it'll sell out almost. But it was like we had that period of time when that's all the kids wanted to do. And it's like they wanted to go to these really nice, cool summer events. So they just put the fruit in the name and then it just sounds enticing and people buy tickets. Like
some great advice. Phil, the owner of the original fruit events, Pineapple, he said to me in the greatest way possible, he said, like, obviously that was created by them and then there was other brands that went and took the same route as them. And he said to me, he said, why aren't you thinking about being that next event who creates the new next trend? That's it. And I was just going, that is so true. Instead of trying to, which I understand how, and we do it too. You try and follow trends. You want to go what works. Like, let's say there's this new genre of music, like this heavy rhythm or something, right? But I really like it and I think it's cool. I'm not going to go and throw a massive rhythm event under Moves because I like it and I think it's different. I want to throw an event that's party in house that everyone likes in Perth because it's trending. Yeah. Because I know people are going to come and are going to sell tickets, right? It's a business. But then there's obviously different ways you can take it, branding wise. You know, you got any ideas? You know, you come up with something cool and then, like, they obviously started, like, they come up with Pineapple and they do it and now it's this massive thing. There was obviously a point in time where they were probably thinking, shit, like, we're really going to name an event after a fruit?
Yeah, that's exactly
Do you know what I mean? They're probably thinking, just like my white pepper thing, like, I'm thinking, like, am I really going to name it? This is stupid. But then, like, once it catches on, people think,
that's exactly it.
Becomes a thing.
That's exactly it. And that's where you kind of just, like, you have to take the risk to get the reward sometimes. And that's just like, that's business. That is basically business. That's what I wanted to ask as well. So, like, do you have a business background or you just went to uni and did marketing? Because, like, to be able to start your own business in year 10, like,
I definitely didn't have a business background in year 10. I was a child.
but still, man, like, you wanted to do something and then you came up with a great name and it's like, that just sounds like
it all just fell into place for you, right?
That's I think it's obviously it's obviously a funny situation of how it all started and developed. And having Perth DJ High, obviously, I was in the music scene, so then I started dabbling, even though events and DJing are the same, but I guess Perth DJ High is more in the corporate and wedding world and private stuff, which is actually very different to events and nightclubs.
That's exactly it, yeah.
I mean, we've had like bar contracts and things under Perth DJ High, but most of our stuff's real private. So it's literally just a mum calling us up going, hey, my daughter's 18 next week.
Look at this cutie.
Yeah, literally.
Who's that?
That's Connor.
Oh, that's Connor.
Yeah, that's Connor.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
This was taken on the 8th of October, 2020.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Do you know Oscar Allen, the Eagles player?
No.
That was his 21st birthday. I remember that night.
Really?
Because I looked really sober, but I was so drunk, and I got carried home. Yeah. So.
Very nice. But that's the thing as well. Like, how important would you say is networking and socializing and like, you know, actually trying to get your name out there? Because like, you know, so like for DJs, like what we were saying before, it's like it's a full-time job and it's making your whole online profile in a way. It's just like a LinkedIn account. But when it comes to doing
literally, that's a really good thing. It's like a LinkedIn account.
Yeah, it basically is, right? Like, but that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I can't just answer my own question, but like, how important would you say it is for networking and everything? Like,
yeah,
because like you got to feel the basics. You got to be social. You can't be an introvert. You got to be an extrovert.
I think you can be an introvert, but I think like I was saying before, the branding aspect's just as important as the production aspect. But if you are, let's say you're so good at producing or you're a really good DJ, like there'll be one point in your life where you end up making it. Like there'll be someone who sees you, or there'll be something that happens. Like you can't get through your whole adult life of being the most talented musician and not making it just because you have no branding or marketing sense, right? So even though the marketing side's important, obviously, I think you can make it being talented, but you can't make it not being talented and being super good at marketing. I think it's easier to be talented and bad at marketing than it is being good at marketing and not talented.
That's it.
Well, I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
It should be. You shouldn't be able to fake it, and that's something I always look back on with the Perth DJ High thing. Going, like, it was so funny how I wasn't even mean to faking. I didn't even mean to fake it. I just didn't actually know like how to DJ. I thought what I was doing was the right way to do it, right? And now I'm so motivated to learn more music-based things and more music theory because I want to give myself the best opportunity, and I feel like just being able to market my brand isn't really good doing that. Just being able to, I'm not just going to put up this fake profile of myself.
But that's it. That's a great way of putting it. But then there are people out there that do kind of fake it till they make it. It's like what we were saying, kind of like with Fisher in a way as well.
That's actually a really good thing to think about. But I've thought about that, and I was like, I'm sure he'd have to have.
Yeah, something he's.
Also, he's a great performer. Like if you watch him DJ,
exactly. Yeah.
Like he's a great DJ. He's a great performer.
Yeah.
So he's got. Yeah, I still think he would have like talent. I'm not sure with the production side, and.
But that's where you can't, like, no one really can know though unless you know him personally, kind of thing, and known him from the beginning. Because it's like when they shoot up,
rumors spread like wildfire.
They do, and that's
game of Chinese whispers in the music industry.
It. That's what was that thing that we were talking about this a while ago, where it's like out of every single true article, like every single legit news article, there's like 4 fake articles that sprout from it, kind of thing. You know, that's what happens when you're big. Like I was talking about this today in class, where it's like Marilyn Manson, right? You know, there was that whole massive thing where apparently he took his ribs out so he can suck his own dick. But the truth of the actual matter is that the truth is that he left a gig and someone beat the shit out of him, and if he didn't get those ribs removed, he would have died. That's actually what happened. Like he left the club and someone beat him up, and then from that he got his ribs removed, and then these rumors started. It's like so he can be more like a girl, and he can bend over and suck his own will. That's it. Yeah, right.
Poor bloke.
That's it. But that's the thing. It's like it's the stigma. It's the appearance. It's like he wants to. His whole persona is being like the demon kind of rock and roll metal guy kind of thing. So people don't like that. The Christians don't like that and stuff. So they label him and do this and do that. But it's how the industry can be, kind of thing. But it's like what you were saying before. It's like, you know, being good at marketing, and then also being good at, like, you know, being good at actually, like, you know, the skill of DJing or producing or this and that. You know, like some people can, but it's as we said, it's full-time jobs. It's like trying to manage both. Like with your producing, how long does it take for you to actually like release a track? Because like you know, I've heard people that it's like 3 days kind of thing, but I've heard stories where it can take up to 2 months, 3 months.
I think that's like, it's an interesting question because I think that's also 2 things. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone takes things in their own time. And also people are, some are perfectionists, some just want to smash it out and get it done. Yeah. It's also what else has people got going on. So like for me, I've been super busy in terms of with like my moves and event side of things, and just finished graduating uni. So I've kind of had like a lot in my mind. So I've kind of haven't given it a break. I just haven't spent as much time as I would like to on music.
Yeah.
So if you sat someone down for a 24-hour period, all right, and you said, don't think of anything else, just produce music, I literally think they could smash out like 10 tracks.
Yeah, potentially,
like, I wouldn't say finished tracks. I wouldn't say what they're like what they would classify as finished, but 90% tracks. They go, okay, this is cool. It might not be what I want to release, but I've had an idea, I've created it, I've finished it. Like, and if like, let's say Morgan, for instance, right? If you got him to sit down and do in 24 hours, he'd be able to do 100 tracks.
Easily,
like, literally, like it's...
Yeah. So it's a situation where it's like easy to do, hard to master.
Correct. And also like that's with me. So I've got so many at the moment sitting there. So my first 3 tracks, Circles High and All I Need, were all over a long period of time. But All I Need was done. This was literally done in a day. And then I was like, it's done. And then got it mixed and mastered. And then I wrapped it up. And then...
And like, here we are.
Yeah, literally. I'm reasonably happy with them. I do like Circles because I think like my first track that I released.
The artwork's really cool for this song.
Yeah, I was gonna say
made by Suki, Melbourne boy.
Okay.
Yeah, Jaden put me in touch with him. Super cool dude, wicked producer, also super weird guy, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We got along really well. And then we literally were just like, okay, let's just make something hell weird for this.
But also, I just wanted to say, like, the way I've kind of looked at the industry over the period of time I've been in it and stuff like that is that it's the oddballs that stand out because they don't want to fit into the curve. They want to do their own thing, and doing their own thing isn't the normal, not the normal thing because nothing's normal, but it's like, it's not the, it's socially accepted, but it's almost like it's outside of the box in a way.
Great. Yeah.
And that's the thing is when you're outside of the box, you can think in a different pattern or this or that to be able to make it so like, it's the day old thing of people saying, oh, I'm just going to get a 9-to-5 job and get kids and do this and do that. But then when people are like, no, I'm going to reach for the stars. That's an odd thing to do, but that's still, it's like you're reaching for something. You've got that passion. You want to go somewhere. You want to actually progress. Well, not progress, but like if you kind of get what I mean, because everyone progresses, but it's being outside of the box.
I'm gonna finish this.
There you go for it.
Sorry.
No, dude, I don't mind. It's your wine.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to put it, and I think a good example is like, if you like watching TikTok or which I need to delete off my phone, or like any video. When you see do something super weird or something different that you can kind of relate to, like in your own secret little weird way, like you appreciate that because someone's out there doing something, different and weird in a sense that like, oh, you're not just trying to be like everyone else and you're comfortable and confident to put that out there and not care what people think.
That's it, yeah.
So everyone's weird everyone's weird, right? But when you show that, I think it makes other people go, "Oh, okay, cool. Like he did that. That's something cool. It's something, it's something different." Like
that's it. And it pushes that to be almost socially acceptable, kind of thing, right?
And that is a perfect word. That's what I was trying to look for. Like you are now socially acceptable because you probably wouldn't have thought it would be, but because you've done that, like people go, "Oh, I respect that because I relate to that," and you've just gone and done that.
And that's it. And you're pushing the norm, the barriers, kind of thing.
Yeah, because it is normal.
Yeah,
but people are just like. I don't know why people will be afraid because they feel like they're going to be judged. But when I see a weird video that someone puts up and they have the balls to do it, I have more respect for that person.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because they're going out of their comfort zone.
Out of their comfort zone.
Yep.
I think that's a big part of art in general is, well, for all art formats, including painting, dancing, music. Even stuff like the lighting guys, people often overlook that as art, but it is art. You're making the lights move in a certain way to create a certain atmosphere or a certain emotion from the crowd. And really, I think the point I'm trying to get to is that art is about pushing boundaries. It's about breaking rules. And you're not really a true artist unless you're attempting to create something new and push those boundaries,
That's
right?
It, yeah.
In art, we don't want to have rules. We want to break them.
Correct.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And that's what you got to do in a way. Like, you have to...
Thank you, my year 12 media teacher.
For
those inspirational words.
All right, well, let's get on to the music as well.
Hell yeah.
Because it's talking so much into psychology.
Do you want to give us a little explainer of this track? This is your latest track by White Pepper called All I Need.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give us a little teaser about what the track's about?
So it's like a little idea that I just made, and then started getting really into. I'm not sure if you heard of Hot Since '82.
Oh yeah,
Yep. So he's like one of my biggest inspirations. A lot of my new music's trying to be similar to his.
Alex, do you want to turn the background music off and we'll play this?
I was
going to
say, like, after we've played this one,
you're cool if we play this, yeah.
Sure.
And you said you.
It's a stream, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, it's on SoundCloud. Go to Spotify.
Yes.
No, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say though as well. After we played this one, do you want to play all of his tracks in the background on a smaller volume?
Yeah, we can do that
Whilst we chat, because then
I can do that on
like,
Spotify. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. How many tracks have you released in total so far?
We listening to him. 3.
3, okay.
3, so 3 releases, yeah.
Yep. And so, where do you want to take your music in a way? Like, because in a way, it's one of those things where, like, when I first started DJing, I got told that you have to produce. If you want to get your name out there, you have to be a producer alongside a DJ. But then I made it as a DJ in Perth, just playing bars and pubs and stuff. But, like, you know, if you want to go and play big events, you got to have that name behind you almost, right?
I think if you want to tour and play outside of where you live, I think you need to.
Yeah.
Unless you're on like Affected or like a super cool label.
But even to get on the label, you have to have your own music, right?
Yeah, you have to. You can't be a DJ.
That's it. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there's like a synth bass in this that was, was made originally for Hot Since '82, and then it kind of formed a little bit different. But this is kind of the transition, I guess, between my first track, Circles, which is like more melodic, and compared to this, just a bit deeper. I'd call this just like regular deep house, to like what I'm planning on releasing, which is like very underground, very progressive, very like.
Have you heard of a Brazilian artist called Alok? He's very big.
Yeah,
this track reminds me of a lot of his music.
Really? I hate Alok. Yeah. No, I don't. I do. I actually used to play him all the time. It's like Slap House.
Yeah.
But
I'm the same. I think I played him too much. Now he's a little bit overplayed. But
yeah, I wouldn't say I hate him. I'm sure he's a great guy. But yeah, agreed. I think I played him a lot.
That dark sort of warbling, like the kick.
Yeah, the kick.
That's what reminds me a lot of the.
Once again, though, that's like that thing of music being subjective, because it's like, you know, it gets played so much, or you hear it so often at pubs and bars and clubs or whatever. But at the same time, it's like people still love it, people still enjoy it, even though they could actually become in the spotlight.
This track would be big in Brazil, I reckon.
You reckon?
Well, I mean, they fucking love their deep house.
That's exactly it. That's what I mean, though, and that's like what we were saying before as well. Like, yeah, there's so many people in like bands or DJs and stuff like that, and they might not be able to sell out hometown shows. But then, like, I know a band, right, and like they can go to any gig in Perth and probably sell 50, 100 tickets or something. But then they go to Spain, they play in front of 20,000, 30,000 people. And it's like they just have that audience base over there. And they're in a band, like...
Yeah, maybe Australia, maybe you need to go to Brazil or something.
That's it.
Yeah, literally.
Get big overnight.
Said go to Melbourne, apparently the scene's huge, and like Sydney as well.
It is, yeah.
The house scene in Perth is...
It's growing.
It's still so small though, besides outside of like Habitat, we do like all the pure shows on Gay Show.
And we lost Nevermind.
Yeah.
Well, they're planning to make a comeback, I think.
They are.
It's all murmurs at the moment.
Yeah, it's all up in the air, but I'm pretty sure they're going to try and open another. Because they just threw on the weekend. They had their first movement event since Nevermind at Freo Social. Yeah, but I think it went well. The videos look pretty good. Pretty busy and everything.
Yeah, I had a few mates that played. I said it was wicked.
Yeah, this is a banger, bar. This is nice.
Thank you.
That was groovy. Very groovy.
Have you had a lot of good feedback from this track? Because surely you did the rounds, right? You messaged all your friends, take a listen to this.
Take a listen to this? Yeah, I think... I still think Circles was probably like my most played.
We'll play that one next.
Yeah, I think that's probably my most popular. And then had High in between, which I did like. And then, mind you, I listen to them all now, and I'm just like, hate all 3 of them.
Yeah,
I don't hate them. I just hear them all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play Circles. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a video editor, so I have the same thing. Like, you just watch the thing over and over and over again.
The first time you hear it, you go. Because people always say, "Do you like your tracks?" It's like, okay, well, I created it. Yes. right? Because I heard the sounds and made the sounds the way I like them.
Yep.
So originally, yeah, but then obviously just like everything, it gets overplayed and...
That's it. But that's the thing though, is like being your own worst critique is a good thing, because then when you go to try and improve, you know where you either stuffed up or where you want to take it, kind of thing.
And that's you're right, because these 3 tracks now that I mean, I don't not like them, but it's made me realise what I do want to make and what I do want to play.
That's it.
And now I've taken a completely different direction, and yeah, now I'm like happy with what I'm making now. And like that, I've heard it a lot of times, just like I'll hear this and I still like it. So then I feel like, yeah, this is the one.
You played these out and about as well, right?
Yeah, I always play it.
And people like jam to it?
Yeah, well, all my mates know this one, like, so this one's probably the most popular. I wouldn't say like a person who wouldn't know the song would know it, but I mean, it's got quite a few streams on Spotify. It got a bit of a run up, which is quite interesting. It's got like 70 or 80,000.
Really?
Quite a lot, yeah. So, and I have no idea
how. On Spotify,
No, I think the algorithm must have got like a little kick at the start. And
pull up the bloody Spotify. That's awesome. It must get added to playlists or something.
And like a lot of my audience is overseas.
Really?
Yeah, because when you have a look at the thing, damn,
71k for Circles.
Yeah.
Damn, that one blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
do you have a back end analytics for the track? Do you know like where all those views are coming from?
Well, you just said overseas and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them are overseas. So
yeah, but like specifically where from overseas? Because that will often dictate like what scene it's coming from.
A lot were from like Germany and England.
Yeah.
Yeah,
big house scenes.
Big house scenes. And then obviously most in Perth. But I would say there would have been like close to 10 to 15,000 in the UK, which is like usually you have a look and it's like, okay, you're in 88 countries, you've got, let's say 1,000 streams, you've got 990 or like 900 in Perth, 900 in Australia, and then the other 100 are split out between like 1 here, 3 there, 2 there, 1 there, just random. But it's quite interesting to see that because at the end of the year you get like a yearly wrap up on Spotify of like where your listeners come from, your highest played tracks, what months you got the most views in, things like that. And then had a look and I was like, what the hell? Like, there were so many from other countries, which is interesting.
But that's the thing though, it's like what I was saying, you never know. In a couple of years they'll be like, when you come to England.
But I still like, when I even go through Spotify, I'm like, play that one, I hear so many random tracks. It was like, yeah, it's interesting to see. What you want is like to try and get out of the playlists. Yeah. And then that's what kind of gets you to the point where it's just like, okay, this is getting played like all the time.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's like people's favourites kind of thing.
Yeah.
They actually like specifically search for it kind of thing instead of just putting on a chill playlist and it coming through the algorithm or whatever. Yeah, I know. We're not 3 minutes. We got 5 by the looks of it.
Well, I can see the exact counter on my screen here of how long we've been live. So.
Oh yeah. So, where do you see yourself going in the music industry and stuff? You're going to keep running events and just keep going? And...
You got your fingers in many pies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a good thing. It's a really good thing. Because, sometimes people it's like with just me. Like, I've just focused on DJing. And I've tried doing producing, but I couldn't get my head around it. I wanted to pay for a course, but I've just used nothing but FL Studio. So I was like, I don't want to pay for Ableton. I've tried learning Ableton. I can't do it. But, I'm a commercial DJ, which I don't mind. It pays the bills sometimes, but it's just been quite a fun ride playing bars, pubs, and occasionally some of the clubs and stuff like that. But throwing your own events and being an actual artist, making your own music, and pushing your own vibe, your own atmosphere, it's pretty good. It's it seems like you're going in the really good right direction.
I still think I've got a lot to go. And just because I think it's because it's something different that a lot of it can get viewed as you're doing really well and stuff, but I still think I'm still really small dog in the event scene. Music wise, I'm just a local Perth producer, so I still think I've got a lot to give in both. There was points where a lot of people used to ask me still do. What would you prefer? Do you want to do events or do you want to keep producing music? And I think both is okay at the minute. There's nothing too much that's taking too much of my time.
Yeah.
But plan with niche would just be continue to run moves, and then we've got a couple exciting things next year, and then from that kind of just continue to create new event ideas that are completely different from each other, and then see how far that can get me.
That's it. Just keep throwing things at the wall until something
literally
really
that's actually it, and then see how big it can get, and just sky's the limit. And that's then exactly it, music wise, same thing goes.
Well, I mean, like with 70,000 players, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty good.
It's funny how I think it's literally just the algorithm must have picked it up and just got a bit of a kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think it's funny how that was my first track. It was like, okay, 70,000 must be something good. Next track's like 100 in like a week or whatever. I might have got like 10,000 or whatever. Like, and you're like sitting there like, yeah, shit. Next one's 1,000. You go. Next one's 500. Next one, like, do you know what I mean? So it's funny how it works.
It's rough out there on the high seas of the internet.
Yeah, man. It is.
If someone had the secret bullet, we'd all be drenched in followers, and nobody would be paying for ads because everybody would have 10,000 followers or whatever.
Absolutely.
So
that's it. Did you play the last song?
Yeah, we played Circles, and
what was the
All I Want was the first one.
All I Need.
All I Need.
Yeah, got to get
All
it
I Want's
right.
a better name. Should have done that.
My short-term memory is shit. Let's be honest.
That's it. Just like, call your EP that next or something.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about releasing an EP, but then a lot of people just said, that like a helping me, just said, singles are killing it. You're just wasting tracks if you do an EP. Which
no, that's what's so interesting though, because it's like albums are just not a thing anymore. People don't.
Unless you're obviously a major artist and then you just can create weird shit. And
that's exactly.
Then you just do whatever you want at that point.
Man.
But you got to get to that point first, though, and
Correct.
And making singles is just seems
like
like
said, then you have more of a chance of one of them blowing up. If you get an EP, like it's really hard for a track in that EP to blow up, or it's easier for one original single,
or only one track in the EP will blow up and the others will just get ignored.
The rest is wasted.
Yeah,
where like you could add 2 if you'd release that 4-track EP as 4 singles. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, well, we got to wrap things up.
Cool.
So, cheers so much for coming on.
Absolute pleasure.
Dude, we went through so much. It was great.
It goes fast, eh?
I felt like we could have kept going kind of thing. Like, there's still so much shit we could talk about. Like, so much stuff. Because that's the thing, is like running your own events. It's such an interesting thing. Like, just the time, the effort, just everything that goes into it that makes it happen. And then when you're just standing there on the day and it's like, I hope people rock up. And then like when they all rock
first
up.
2 hours, man.
That's it. And then it's flat out. You're just like, yeah, today was a good day.
That was my life.
That's it. Just like pump bloody Ice Cube on the way home. It was like, yeah, today was a great day.
So where can people find you, Bailey? Do you want to shout out your socials and what your upcoming events are?
So yeah, next moves is the 6th of November at the Court. Moves AU is our Instagram. Just Moves on Facebook. The event's up on FB, so you can check that out. In terms of White Pepper, it says in the names, type in White Pepper on Facebook or Instagram. Don't think there's too many names like that, so I think you should be able to find that.
Yeah, and this cover photo is pretty unique.
Not well. That's pretty good though. It just makes you look like an absolute party boy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, what were you gonna say?
Settle down. I was gonna say the opposite, but and then hopefully I've got a bit of music coming out soon, which plans to try and get the bit of underground music out to see if that can kind of do some things in Perth, but we'll see.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah. Cheers so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, boys.
It's been a good insight.
Cheers. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Pleasure, man.
Great
Thank
chat.
you. Great chat.
Next week we have. Just give me a second. We have.
Never prepared for this, are you, Alex?
Nah, never. Oh, we got a guy called Boris Nastov who he works for Streamline and he's a pretty good dude.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Streamline.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, so he's played out and about for quite a while, from what I can gather, and he's got a few stories to tell, and
huge.
Yeah, should be good.
Awesome.
So cheers so much for coming on. Yeah,
Pleasure,
and we'll see you guys next week. All right. So, catch you. And then Mitch used to make us do this thing. Was it you or was it Damo? But we have to wave at the camera so people know.
Wave at the cameras, guys.
Catch you.
Bye.
Bye.